Hey everyone, Papercut here with a video breaking down the Mongol opening. Now, I have someone I'm coaching who's interested in learning Mongols, and it's just such a unique civ when it comes to its opening. And when researching it, I just thought it's actually really interesting theoretically too. So I wanted to do this quick little explainer on the technical side and then the theoretical thought process side of the Mongol opener. Now, a key part of the Mongol opener is one, you start in a completely unique situation. Your TC is packed, you have a Gur, you have villagers, and a Khan. And you're going to want to almost every single time do some sort of tower rush, which has a lot of variations. How many spears do you make? Where do you make the tower? How do you know when it's time to age up? I can't answer those things perfectly for every situation, but I can try to give some like thought process, some steps, and some flags of what to be looking for. So let's first start with what is the pure basic opening, and then the variations, things to consider. Now I'm going to do this slow, so it's very easy to see the steps. Of course, you don't want to do this as fast as possible when you actually enter the game. So you're going to start a game with 6 villagers, a Khan, 3 sheep, a Gur, and a town center. Gur is your all-purpose resource drop-off. Go to your town center. The first thing you're going to do always is box over your villagers and send them to a tree. One villager, your 5th, you're going to send out and build an Uvu. At that point, you then want to send your town center to a tree line. You click T and click it to a tree line. Now, it probably would have been better if I put it here next to the Gur, but whatever. At that point, you then send your Khan out towards the opponent's base, and you put your sheep under the town center. You then want to send your Gur to the nearest resource of the villager who built the Uvu. You then queue up all the villagers you can and put them on sheep. These villagers drop off the wood and then head to the wood line. Villager who built the Uvu, you want to save their walking speed. Basically, you want to make sure that they're not having to walk really far to get a resource. So just whatever resource is close to the Uvu, have them collect that. At this point, you're going to have your villagers collect wood until they hit 150, enough for a barracks. During this time, your Khan needs to be searching for the opponent, and specifically their gold. When you get close to their base, you can use the Scouting Falcon and throw it near their TC to see. And I see there's the gold right there. So that's going to be my main attack spot. I have 150, so the villager who is near the Uvu is now going to drop the barracks. Next to the Uvu, and this is important, you can only double produce from something that's connected to the Uvu under that influence. Once that's happening, you pull 3 villagers off the wood line and onto food. So at this point, you leave 2 on wood, and you're still rallying to wood. I mean to food. The goal at this point is you want to get 8 on food. You need that amount on food to start producing spears, and you're going to leave 2 on wood. At the 7 villager mark here, you can then add 1 to wood. Or if you already have a villager on wood, like you generally want 3 on wood at this point. You're then going to double produce spears and send it to the gold. And whatever villager built the barracks, you're going to send them with to the gold. So we're now heading to the gold. I'm going to wait till I have my spears. Now this group's going to go together. You notice the double production costs that stuff. I'm now going to keep rallying to food. I'm still bringing my Khan around. And the key is, you keep making spears. You don't want to overproduce, but you have to assume there's a potential your opponent is going to try to block your tower. Your opponent has a good chance of knowing your tower is coming. Villagers heading down, spears heading down. Now with 3 on wood, you will eventually have enough wood to drop an outpost, which is 100 wood. So I'm going to try to place the outposts in a way that makes sure that the shooting range is within that circle dot. See, like that? So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to have my spears check. And if he had a mining camp here, this is the AI, so they're not perfect. If they had a mining camp, I would immediately burn the mining camp, because that would give me gold. Since there's nothing pressuring me, I'm not going to build any more spears. I'm going to pull my villagers off of wood and send them to gold. Because at this point, I now want to age up. I might produce 1 more set of spears since I have the stone. And then I'm going to just balance my resources. 10 on food's good, 3 on gold's good. I might keep adding wood just in case I need more spears. Maybe they come with a surprise attack. So I'm still gathering here. Use my speed boost with my con with Q. That's another thing. At the start of this, I could have used Q to send my villagers off instantly to make them move a little bit faster. It's really important to also get sheep back, because if I run out of sheep, I'm going to have to go out on another food resource, which I do have the deer right here, but I have to build a gur for that. Once the tower's up, you have two options here. You can either, you'd want to burn down the mining camp, and then you can leave the spears in the mining camp, or you can kind of go hunting around. One thing you want to do is try to make sure he's not on other gold. So I'm going to check this gold. Oh, see, he's down here. So I'm going to burn this gold mine now. Push the villagers off this one. And you have another option here, which is, do I keep making towers, or do I send my villager back? In this case, I'm going to make another tower. Or at least I'm going to try to. Push him off gold. I'm able to age up. And you're generally going to want to age up with the silver tree, because you want to get trade going. I'm going to burn that mining camp. Now, some things I can tower. I can tower the closest wood line, so like here, for example, to make sure it's harder for him to collect resources. I could tower far away golds, or I could just send this villager back to protect them, basically, so they can keep collecting resources for me. I'm going to send Khan back. I just got resources from burning down that mining camp. I'm going to put my tower right here. When I age up, I'm going to get arrow slits for my tower, so it shoots on its own. And I just kind of rotate the spears around the outside of his base, just trying to find positions where I can attack. What I really need to do, though, is find where the where my trading post is. Something I haven't found yet. And this is the hard part of doing this Mongol opening, is that you need to scout while also doing the attack, which can be a little micro heavy. I'm going to upgrade my spears. I'm going to send half my villagers to wood, because now I really want a stable. A stable is going to allow me to get Keshiks, and Keshik is going to be my main raiding tool at this point. I'm going to upgrade this tower. See, he went back to gold because my tower isn't upgraded. One thing you need to be careful of, I should have left 2 spears in this tower, because what opponents will try to do is if they see the spears run away, they'll try to burn the tower real fast. So I really should have left 2 spears in the tower just to protect it. Did this not spawn with trading posts? Huh? This is a skirmish map, so I wonder if it didn't spawn with trading posts. So I'm doing a lot of extra towers. That does cost wood. It'll take time. But if you think you really have your opponent stuck, then adding more towers just means they have less areas they can gather resources. Your opponent's going to be trying... There it is. So I'm going to start making traders. And once I make my first set of traders, I'm going to move my silver tree to the corner, because the longer the distance to trade, the more resources I get. My other trading post is probably here. So it'd actually be a better idea for me to trade from here to here in the back where it's safe. At the same time, if your silver tree is next to your Uvi, you can double produce traders, but it's actually better to double produce army to make sure your opponent can't disrupt your trade. You know what I mean? So I would then move the silver tree here. And one strategy you can do is build a market near your TC to make the traders, and then have them go to the silver tree. But if you do that, they lose out on getting the silver tree buff of the traders, which is them being cheaper. So now he's pushing my tower. I'm just going to send my spears over to stop it. I'm going to build my stable. And that's kind of the basic opening. And at this point, you'd want to keep putting pressure. You want to keep making, spears or keshiks or archers, depending on whatever your opponent's running. And then as that continues to happen, keep them off gold. And then as your trade starts to boom, you'll just naturally be able to outproduce them. Look, I'm getting 68 gold right now, 70 more. I'm getting so much gold from this. Once again, I want to do it on the back side, closer to my base. And then the special Mongol bonus is, as you get more traders, you get more resources. So booming that trade is really important. But if you overinvest on trade early, what's going to happen is if you overinvest on trade early, you're not gonna have enough units to defend. So you want to make sure you're not doing too much trade. You're getting units and trading. I'm gonna double produce Keshiks. I really should have done that way faster, but I'm focusing more on talking. That's the basic Mongol opening. Some variations. If your opponent is really trying to fight you, like they drop a barracks and they're gonna fight, focus on making more spears first, and then drop the tower. So in that case, you'd actually want to stay more on food. So like maybe 2 on wood instead of 3 on wood, and just focus on food to really get spears out. If you're running low on sheep, send the gur, or build a gur, or send this extra gur to the deer and start collecting from deer, which would be a huge food resource. Other variations as well is you drop 1 tower and just go back. Some civs you actually want to stop different resources. So for example, for Delhi or Byzantines, cutting off the berries is really important. So towering this and the berries would have been just as important as towering the gold, because they get extra units from berries. But you notice how this opponent is just basically shut down. Like they can't do anything. So just to be clear, let's do that opening full speed once again. I'm going to once again talk through it. You could also just, of course, watch the video again, but I like having it put together very clear. Villagers to tree, Mongol Khan out, town center placed. 1 villager off, Uvu. Gur placed near Uvu for villager who is building the Uvu. Khan sent towards opponent's base to see where their gold is. I forgot, but once again, you could do the maneuver arrow at the very start to make your villagers move faster. They drop off. I'm going to shift click them to the tree line right next to my TC. I'm going to queue up villagers. Unfortunately, it means you will be behind 1 villager because you have to take time to drop your TC. Coming down. Second I see his TC, I'll send out signal arrow. I see gold. I'm going to scout around his base to see if there's any backup golds. Keep 5 or 6 on wood until you get enough for barracks. Rally to food. It's also important to note where you see food that your opponent's going to need, and where you see other wood lines, because if you like tower this wood line, he'll go to a different one. I now have enough for barracks. I'm going to drop barracks, pull 3 off wood line, and onto food, so I can make spears. Keep 2 on wood for now. I'm going to rally to have about 7 on food, then put a 3rd on wood, and then keep rallying to food. Remember, to pack up, any building can move. You can pack it up with T. Only thing that can't move is the Uvu. I'm going to outspeed the scout here, because I want to make sure I get as much sheep as possible. At 7, I'll rally to wood, and then I produce my first double spear and send it to the gold. I'm listening for when that spear jumps out. I'm going to put him on 2 for my keys. Find my trading post. That means the trading post in the corner. Spears leave, so I send this villager out. Make sure they drop off their resources. I'm going to hotkey my barracks to 4. Make another spear. You generally want at least 4 spears, I'd say. So like double produce, single produce, double produce. So 5. 5 is a solid number. You can burn things down. Remember, if they start making units, then you need to keep producing spears. You can't lose out on the Dark Age rush. You have to get that tower up on at least their first gold. I rally 3 to wood, and I'm back to food. 3 on wood's enough to make sure I get the tower. Once I get 100 for the tower, I'm gonna wait on the spear until I can do another double produce, because I almost have the stone for it. There it is. I'm gonna make sure my Khan gets back in time to drop off sheep. I'm going to push him off gold. I'm going to build the tower where I want to make sure that the circles, the little dotted circles, are inside where I can shoot. I'm going to burn down this mining camp. Now I have enough sheep. I'm still just rallying to food. Still just rallying to food. Oh, he's gathering. Oops. I'm going to focus the same villager so I can try to kill him before he leaves. Next villager. Once again, this is intermediate AI, so they're not necessarily... I want to watch to make sure... I don't want my spearman to run under his TC. I see he's running out, so I'm going to block him off. So I'm going to burn down this mining camp, send one spear out to check the others. Rally more spears. Really should have been rallying more spears this whole time, just in case. He's not at this gold. One thing I can do is I can leave the spear at this gold by using patrols. I'm going to click D, have them patrol this gold. Have these spears help destroy this one. At this point, I feel like I'm good on spears, so I'm going to stop producing them. I'm going to pull my villagers off wood here and send them to gold and move this Gur to gold. Considering he has 2 gold mines here and food, I think it's worthwhile for me to drop a tower here. A tower here will tell me if he's going to this gold, and also start blocking off this wood line. I burn that down, so I'm going to leave 2 spears in the tower, if in case he tries to burn it. I bring these spears down to defend the villager. I want to make sure you're defending the villager as it's dropping, which is why you want about 5 spears. 2 in tower, 3 to defend the villager, because they might try to vill pole and destroy the tower. I'm getting close to the feudal. Since I have so many on food, I'm actually gonna pull like 2 off food and go back to wood. It's just what I'm noticing. I'm noticing I have extra food, so I'm not afraid to pull off food and get a little bit of wood for when I age up. Gonna put him in the tower. I'm gonna age up quick. I want to take advantage of this time I have by aging up really quickly. You see, he tried to go gold. My spears caught him. He's now on stone. Any building that is outside the TC range, burn. Like, you want to get the resources from burning resource buildings like this. All I have to do is set them on fire. You don't even have to destroy them all the way. Just set them on fire. I know my other trading post is here, so that's where I'm going to trade. I'm still rallying to food. I'm agent with 8. I'm actually going to start rallying to wood because I really want to make sure I can get a stable. At this point, I'm just going to send this villager back. I feel like it's done good work, and I don't want to lose it. And I want to make sure, is there a gold over here he could be running to? Because if there's a gold right here, he might risk running to it and towering it. Just uncovering the whole map, knowing everywhere my opponent can be. I age up. I'm going to send my villagers to wood and food because villagers cost wood and traders cost wood and gold. So I'm gonna send my Gur to the my silver tree to the corner. Oh, and there's a gold. See, that's what I get for not scouting well enough. I aged up, so I'm gonna get air slits on my towers. I'm gonna get a stable. And now I'm good to go. Now I'm just gonna try to trade, keep the pressure on. Don't let him break out, upgrade my spears, get that trade. And once that trade starts booming, you get 10, 15 traders, you're going to be probably unstoppable. I hope that helps. Good luck on your games. Now that made me excited. I might start playing Mongols now. Uh-oh. See you guys.